Hello, everybody. This is Miss Francis, and I'm at the Chapel Hill Public Library, and I am so glad to see you. I have some bedtime stories to share with you today. Do you like to hear stories before you go to bed? I thought maybe you would. So, we're going to hear some bedtime stories. So, don't go to sleep yet. The first story I'd like to share with you is a story called Good Night Bunny by Lauren Thompson. And I wonder what this little bunny likes to do before he goes to bed. Let's take a look. Good night, bunny. Good night, sun. And good night, bright red sky. Good night, swallows swooping by. Good night, bluebells and nodding pansies. And good night, dainty, dozing daisies. Ooh, good night, spider and flickering fireflies. Good night, delicate dragonflies, right on his nose. Good night, turtle dove, cooing low. Good night, ducklings, all in a row. Good night, log and splashy creek. Good night, mousies, all a squeak. Good night, cattails and moonlight glow. Good night, minnows, swimming slow. Are you getting sleepy? Good night, breezes and clouds that fly. Good night, twinkling stars up high. Good night, crickets, cricking near. And good night, Mama and Papa dear. Good night, brothers, big and little. Good night, sister, snug in the middle. Good night, ears and whiskery nose. Good night, wiggly tickly toes. Good night, you, and good night, me. Good night, kisses. One, two, three. One last hug, all tucked in tight. Good night, little bunny. Sweet dreams. Good night. And I hope that bunny has sweet, sweet dreams. Good night, little bunny. Don't go to sleep yet, because there's another fun story that you can listen to when you go to bed. It's called Click, Clack, Good Night. I think this is going to be a fun story about some farm animals at night. Oh, that looks like Farmer Brown and some cows. And it's nighttime on the farm. Everyone is tired, but it's time to relax, unwind, and cows are ready for bed. Farmer Brown pats their heads and click, he turns out the cow light. The cows are in the dark, sound asleep. The sheep are ready for bed, and Farmer Brown brushes out their tangles and click, he turns out the sheep light. The sheep are in the dark, sound asleep. The chickens are ready for bed, and Farmer Brown covers them with a blanket and he turns on the chicken light. And the chickens in the nearly dark, cluck, 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 sound asleep. But the duck is not quite ready for bed. Farmer Brown sings him a song, reads him a book, turns on the white noise machine, and puts on a shadow puppet show. But the duck, quack, 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 is wide awake. And Farmer Brown practices downward facing dog with him. He discusses the day's top news stories. He debates the top news stories, and he turns out, click, the duck light. Well, Farmer Brown is in the dark. Sound asleep. But the duck, quack, 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 is wide awake. And the duck tries to sleep like a cow, but it's too crowded. The duck tries to sleep like a sheep, but it's too soft. And the duck tries to sleep like a chicken, but it's too bright. And the duck finds a soft spot under the maple tree where there are no cows, no sheep, no chickens. It's not too soft. It's not too crowded. The moonlight is just right. And duck closes his eyes. Chit, chatter, chatter, chit, chit, chatter, chatter, chit, chit, chatter, chatter. The bats in the trees are wide awake. And Duck finds a spot by the pond. No cows, no sheep, no chickens, no bats. It's not too soft. It's not too crowded. There's no cheep-chat, chittering. The moonlight is just right. And Duck closes his eyes. Burp, 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 burp. The frogs in the pond are wide awake. Well, the duck knows a new spot where there are no cows, no sheep, no chickens, no bats, and no frogs. And the duck also knows where Farmer Brown keeps the hot sauce, the sliced cheese, and the whole wheat bread. What do you suppose Duck is going to do with hot sauce, cheese, and bread? A bedtime snack, maybe? You're right. He made a sandwich and his stomach is full. And the mattress is firm. And the book is just right. And Farmer Brown's pajamas are soft. and the moonlight shines in through the window, and Duck closes his eyes. Poor Farmer Brown. And Duck is in the dark, sound asleep. But where is poor Farmer Brown? He's having to sleep at the foot of the bed. Click, clack, good night. Let's see if we have time for one more good night story. Oh, this is one about a panda. It's called Good Night, Mr. Panda. Looks like Mr. Panda Bear likes to take a bath before he goes to bed. Or does he? Let's see. Uh-oh, there's Mr. Hippo. I'm going to bed. Good night, Mr. Panda. You forgot to brush your teeth. Oh, I'll brush them in the morning, and I'll brush them twice. My mouth is minty fresh. Good night, Hippo. It's cuddly time. Good night, Mr. Panda. You forgot to take a bath. Oh, no. Oh, I take a bath once a month. I'm squeaky clean. Good night, Skunk. You should go to bed, Sloth. Oh, I'm too tired to move. We're going to bed. Good night, Mr. Panda. But you forgot your pajamas. Oh, no, I didn't. Sheep don't wear pajamas. Oh, but lemurs do. Good night, sheep. Mr. Panda, are you going to bed? And what do you think he said? Yes, I am. Well, haven't you forgotten something? Did Mr. Panda forget something? Oh, but Mr. Panda, that's my bed. And Mr. Panda is fast asleep. Good night, Mr. Panda. And good night to you. Sleep tight. Have a wonderful dream. We'll see you the next time for more bedtime stories.